We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie here, the birthday boy with...
Ricky Williams, a.k.a. Ricky Knows Best, a.k.a. 93 Till Infinity, a.k.a. the Coles with the most. Happy birthday to Donnie, early birthday, and then happy birthday to my brother, Jesse Williams.
That's right, man. And today's episode, we're going to be celebrating because we got lots of friggin' great wrestling news to talk about this week here on the show. And we got some really cool things coming up. But before we get into all the good stuff, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode of the podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode and give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, you get the video version of this podcast for free, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. So I gotta ask you, Ricky, because it has been a minute since we last talked. How's everything been going with you?
Been going good. Just trying to stay busy. Keeping my mind in the right direction. Trying to get to my goals.
Well, I know you've been enjoying those Miami Heat this season so far.
No, I haven't. No. under my expectations. But
well, let me tell
early.
you, man, Brooklyn Nets right now, they're over my expectations right now. I thought we were going 0-82.
I already knew y'all weren't. I already done told you that plenty of times, but
You have told me that. That is
I'm
true.
worried about my Heat right now, and I'm mad every time they lose. Because we could have won half these games.
Yeah, let me tell you, though, one thing I'm not happy with is Casual Cam. His Warriors are actually playing pretty good.
Yeah, I got a lot of people in the chat texting me right now. Boys on thin ice, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, man, JT.
JT's JT, though. He ain't that biased.
Yeah, I know. It's all love. It's all love. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, I will be at the big event New York in Long Island Saturday. So if you do see me, don't hesitate to come say what's up. I'll be doing a vlog for the We Are Wrestling channel. Going to be meeting a lot of wrestlers, including the GOAT himself, MJF. I cannot wait. It's going to be a blast. Also, I'm going to be meeting one of your favorites, Ricky, Shibata.
The wrestler.
The wrestler, man. Cannot wait.
If I wasn't so busy, I would come, but I got a lot on my plate right now. I got a lot of catching up to do.
I hear you, man. And over the past weekend, while Ben took over and did the live watch-along for WWE Crown Jewel, I was actually with Casual Cam in Rhode Island for Rhode Island Comic-Con, and it was a great time. Got to meet some We Are Wrestling Maniacs, got to meet some best ones, got to meet some wrestlers, some voice actors. There's a whole vlog if you guys want to go check that out over on my Best One Donnie channel. You can check it out. Great vlog, lots of great content in there. Also, just a few reminders as well. Saturday, November 16th, We Are Wrestling will be at the Wrestling Classic 5. And we are not going to be alone because we're bringing in Little Guido, Nuncio, who actually appeared on NXT last night. How did you feel about seeing FBI low-key?
Yeah. It was cool. It was good.
Man, let me tell you, I was caught off guard. Like, I knew we were going to get Nuncio, but, like, I didn't expect him to wrestle Tony D'Angelo on NXT.
Let me tell you something. And I was still a kid. I used to hate FBI back in 03 because they were feuding with The Undertaker. That's the only reason. Nothing personal. I used to hate those guys. Because even though I knew Undertaker wasn't winning that belt, in storyline purposes, they always put their nose in Undertaker's business back in 03. I ain't like that, but I was a kid, so I ain't know any better. I ain't know the story purpose back then that I know now, so it's all good now.
Oh yeah, like for me, like that's like what, like a perfect example for me, like how I felt about somebody like that was William Regal. I could not stand William Regal as a kid growing up. And like now, obviously being a maniac, obviously you're a maniac. Through time, we learn to love and appreciate the work that these men are doing in the ring. But yeah, Nuncio will be hanging out with us on Saturday, November 16th at the South End Community Center in Springfield. So if you guys do want to meet Little Guido, he will be at our table. First time we're bringing in a wrestler. Hopefully it works out and we can continue to do that for future wrestling classics. Also, if you want to get yourself some swag on Pro Wrestling Tees, We Are Wrestling. We got some sick t-shirts on there. Right now, I have my We Are Wrestling Extreme shirt, and I actually got it on Pro Wrestling Tees. So if you guys want to get yourself some cool We Are Wrestling swag, you can go over there. But we do have some watch-alongs as well happening throughout the month of November as well. On Saturday, November 23rd, AEW Full Gear. Are you going to be there?
23rd. When is the 23rd?
23rd is on a Saturday, so it's going to be the week after the Wrestling Classic.
Oh, okay. I'm in then. I'll be there.
Well, if you have nothing going on, Ricky, you could join me, and we could do a live watch-along here for Full Gear, because I think the card's looking really freaking good.
All right. I'm in. Just let me know when.
I got you. And then the week after that, Saturday, November 30th, WWE Survivor Series War Games. We're going to be having the entire We Are Wrestling team here and just a bunch of our friends. We're all going to be hanging out, having a good time, watching good old Survivor Series. So definitely want to give you guys those reminders. It's the best way to interact with us is the live watch-alongs. But this week, we do not have a power of the poll. I totally forgot about it. But we're going to get back on track next week. It's just been very busy so far.
I'm about to start doing these polls. I got something in mind next week. I'm going to text you later about it. I got something in mind.
Hey, Ricky, if you want to come up with the power of the poll for next week, by all means, I'm willing to listen. So we'll figure that out, definitely.
Swing by my YouTube channel later after this. I'm going to put something up.
Alrighty. Well, oh yeah, because aren't you doing the 5-star thing, right? With like the matches?
Oh, I got 4 already. I just gotta load them up. I got 4 already done. So
yeah, so
some
Ricky,
of the ones you referred to me. Some people told me not to do them, but I did some. So, and I did some of my favorite matches first. So
in case you guys like need some context here and like are wondering like what we're talking about, Ricky has this idea where he wants to rewatch matches and he wants to rate them similar to Dave Meltzer because Meltzer doesn't know how to rate a match from freaking wiping his ass. So Ricky wants to show everybody that he knows best, and he's going to actually be doing it on his personal YouTube channel, which we will put the link down in the description below. So guys, please show Ricky some love on his channel because he really helps out a lot with the We Are Wrestling stuff, and we just all want to grow together. That's the goal at the end of the day.
On top of that, I don't want to call it star rating because I don't want to steal nobody's thing. So the only reason I haven't dropped anything yet, I want to change the name because I don't want to steal somebody's name neither. So star rating is kind of like I got to change the name to something else now because I don't want to get no copyright or nothing. I don't want nobody crying about it and showing the higher ups or other old geezers. So I'm gonna change the name later.
I got a good name. How about this? Ricky Knows Best Analyst, Match Analyst, or something like that.
Oh, that's not a bad. That's not a bad name. Or I could just put Ricky Knows Best.
You should just do Ricky Knows Best, man. It's your brand.
Yeah, I just wanted to do it. I wanted to do it like I want to know where it's coming. I wanted to know where people know where I'm coming from too. So that's why I put the star rating. But then I'm like, nah, because when I do it, somebody's gonna try to like, he's stealing my stuff. I'm really not stealing your stuff.
Yeah, but that's the
thing.
Like,
do it.
You're gonna be dealing with trolls. You're gonna be dealing with people that are gonna say, "Oh, you took this, you took that." Hell, like in wrestling, it's hard for wrestlers to have original moves because everything's been done before in the business.
Facts, exactly.
But
you're gonna see
you just gotta add. But that's the thing, though. As long as you add your own touch to it, your own magic, and you make it stand out from Meltzer and all the other match analyst people, that's what's gonna matter at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I do got to ask you, Ricky, because every week here on the We Are Wrestling podcast, we do our highlight of the week, our favorite thing during the week in the wrestling world. What has got to be your highlight this week?
Actually, I got two, but one of them threw me off guard because watching a New Japan event. I think it was the Junior Tag Leagues, right? Shockingly to me, or I think it was Power Struggle, it's one of those. Shockingly to me, Sonata joins the Bullet Club, which threw me off guard completely.
Oh, Sonata joined Bullet Club?
Yes, he joined Bullet Club. Shocked me. Turned on Taichi and literally left just 5 guys to join up with David Finley's Bullet Club. Now, this confused me and surprised me because Sonata's one of the most... He's one of the top stars over there, and he's one of the most over stars over there. But I told everybody beforehand that knows Sonata and knows him, his character and style has been too laid back. And I've always said this, and a lot of other people have said this. He needs a killer streak. Now, him joining the Bullet Club surprised me and shocked me off guard completely. But I think we're finally about to start seeing that. I'm finally about to start seeing that killer streak of Sonata because he's always been laid back. Always. Like, even as a heel, a twiner, he's always literally played by the book, unless it's been obviously he's a heel. But this one right here, this run might bring Sonata to the next level. Because when he was IWGP World Heavyweight Champion a year ago, nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. I didn't have no problem with it. Nobody else liked it. But now, this heel run, this should be the breaking point. This should skyrocket him to arguably be New Japan's next big guy, even though he's been the face of New Japan. But this can skyrocket him to actually be the top heel. Now, I don't know if he's going to take a backseat to David Finley, which is dumb to me. And I'm not hating on David Finley for this. But
sometimes it's always good, though, to like have like a new change, too, like in your character work.
Yep, this should work for Sonata right here. Now, I got the other one. You asked me. Ricochet showing up to New Japan.
Ooh, we will get into depth about that during our recap because that is one of our topics.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm good then. That was mine then.
Nah, you're good, man. But Sonata joining Bullet Club, that's actually pretty interesting. I am going to have to take a look at that. Wasn't Sonata in Impact Wrestling and he was a part of James Storms' faction during that time?
Yeah.
And they went against like Great Buddha. Like it was at Bound for Glory in Japan, correct?
Mm-hmm. And then he joined Naito's LIJ. And then
because that's one thing with Sonata. Like I remember his run in Impact Wrestling very fluently. That's like where like I started to like kind of tune out of Impact. And I remember him being a part of James Storms' faction, and I really enjoyed that group.
Then he joined Naito's LIJ, left them last year, and now he's with the Bullet Club. Like I said, this is a career moment. Like he's finally about to get that killer instinct. And
I can't wait to see it because I was always a fan of his work. I was always a fan of his work, going all the way back to Impact Wrestling.
And he's underrated. He's an underrated wrestler. A lot of people don't give him credit for that neither.
Yeah, hopefully with Bullet Club, because Bullet Club has always been a faction where it has changed a lot of careers for the better. Like AJ Styles came out of it, Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, Jay White. So many
think-
talented guys have come out of
I
that.
think if you ask me, who actually benefited in Bullock, AJ didn't need it. Obviously, you know that. We both know AJ
Well, yeah, but
really
it
didn't
helped
need
him. It helped him build some stock up, though.
Yeah, but it helped Kenny, Finn Balor, aka Prince Devitt, Kenny
Oh, I
Omega,
miss
and Jay
Prince
White.
Devitt.
I don't know if it's going to help David Finlay. I'm not convinced yet. I need another year to be
Time.
convinced.
Just give it time. So
I need another
now,
year.
with my We Are Wrestling highlight of the week this week, mine has got to be last night on AEW Dynamite during the Wednesday Night War with NXT. I really enjoyed the segment with Christian Cage and Hook. So at first, like when it came to like this feud, I was just okay, here we go. Hook's going to have another filler feud, and then he's going to beat Christian, and then he's going to move on, because that's pretty much how they've been booking Hook. But I really like the backstory that we got here with him. And I think bringing in Kip Sabian into like the Patriarch group, I really think that that's a good move, because I think that Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne, they could be a solid tag team. I think that they could have some pretty good chemistry there. Kip's always been somebody that I've been very behind, so for him to actually get television time and be under Christian's wing, I cannot complain. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. And I love the backstory of why Christian took out Taz. And the reason to it is, Hook is always the son he has always wanted, but he needs to be disciplined. And I just think that, like, the storytelling here, Christian last night did a fantastic job and sold me completely on the match at Full Gear.
I think I'm not trying to be rude. I think it's getting kind of stale at this point, too. Because, like, even though it's a good storytelling, like you said, it's kind of getting stale. Because you can even predict the lines that are going to be said, too. Then you're being like this. Like, it takes away from the unpredictability at times. Because you're like this. When he says something about your dad or something like that, you see it coming. Then you're like, oh, man, I could have wrote that. And then you're like, when you watch it, you're shocked. And you're like, you're inclined and in tune with it. But when you hear him say it, you're like this. Oh, I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, but Christian still makes it work. You want to talk about stale right now. MJF and Adam Cole are stale. Like a friggin' expired friggin' bag of chips.
Yeah, that didn't make, like
the friggin' heel face thing, like, you're not convincing me that MJF is the heel in this situation.
No, and then on top of that, I don't think I think Adam Cole has slowed down wrestling. I think he's been sitting down too long.
His last two matches that he had with Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black were excellent. But I'm just saying, like, his character work, it just very, very stale. Like, Undisputed Kingdom, it's stale. It was hot in the beginning of it, but then Adam Cole was hurt. MJF was hurt. They should have just moved on.
Yep. They had to repackage it, and now...
Yep. They should have just let Adam Cole and MJF move on and do their own thing.
Yep. And it's kind of stale at this point. I'm looking at Undisputed Kingdom like this. Whatever they're called, Undisputed Era King. I'm looking at them like this now. They're like, yo, you guys are just mad. And then look at Wardlow. They done messed Wardlow's whole momentum up with that too.
I will say I kind of hope Wardlow goes back with MJF, because I think that that's the only thing right now, in my opinion, that could save his career. Because right now he is in career suicide.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, because Wardlow like reminds me so much of like a young Batista from like 2004, 2005. And he was so close, and I felt like they kind of rushed it with him turning on MJF. They should have had Wardlow with him throughout the World Championship run, and then at the right time, they should have pulled the trigger, and Wardlow could have been a massive star beating MJF at like All In or something.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I think they just rushed it.
I do remember that match too. He let MJF let Wardlow squash him. That made it even better, because that convinced Wardlow was main event caliber. So
exactly,
I'm not an MJF hater, but I got to thank him for that, because he did
put him over.
Something. He did that.
You're right.
He puts people over, but his character shades everything else, because you think he really is a bad guy. I've never met an MJF in person. You have, so he's in character 9 times out of 10 half the time. So you don't know if he's really being rude, or is he just doing his job.
I
And if
think he's just
being
doing
rude in
his
public,
job because he's somebody that respects old
Exactly.
school wrestling. Like, if you listen to interviews of his, like, he's somebody that believes in kayfabe, and I think that him doing that, I like it. Like, I feel like we need more wrestlers like that are in character at all times. Like, I feel like there's too many wrestlers out there in today's generation that pretty much open up the curtain for everybody to see.
you know what
I
else?
don't want to see that all the
You know
time.
what else low key? You know what else low key killed kayfabe? The internet.
The internet. Oh, definitely for
The
sure.
internet killed kayfabe because now,
But-
like, when they're online and stuff doing such and such, you already like, yo, if I go to an event, I want to be surprised. I don't want to just see them over the internet just doing this and that. I want to be surprised. If he's in kayfabe, I want to see it in person, not over the internet. You get what I'm saying?
Oh
That's
no,
just
I
me, though.
totally get what you're saying, man.
The internet,
Absolutely.
the internet, low key killed wrestling media somewhat. Depending on how you look at it.
It really has, and it sucks because like everybody knows that like professional wrestling is pretty much like scripted, and like the outcomes are already planned out. But I think a lot of people, like casuals that don't like listen to wrestling podcasts, that don't watch wrestling, they believe that it's all fake. And I think
Exactly.
that's where like
That's
there's
where
a
the
lot of
internet
confusion,
messes it up.
and that's where it's wrong.
Yep.
Exactly.
And then the internet even proves our theory even more by we getting on looking at it. And I'm like, yeah, hey, yo, I don't want to see that crap. Like, you remember like a few months ago, I seen something on Twitter. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre are feuding, right? Before the show, these guys are talking to each other. You got the fans on the chat. They're like this.
Oh,
He's right
you're talking about the Raw crowd, like when they're all in the ring, like rehearsing
Yeah.
before Raw, right?
He's like this. He's like this. Drew's right there. Go get it. That's what killed me. I'm like, yo.
I hate that shit so much, and then I hate
like,
the
yo,
pictures
keep that
of, like,
to yourself,
empty
man.
seats. I hate
And
it.
the fans should not be allowed in the building until tickets are purchased. Just like that too. I don't know how the fans
do
be
agree.
sneaking in these buildings.
Or
That's
it's
just me, though. I'm sorry.
Or it's just like people that work in the building too. That could have probably happened, but
I
who
hate
knows? But yeah, no. My highlight of the week though had to be Christian and Hook, because at first I didn't care about it, but on Dynamite, in my opinion, they made me care about it. And I think that this better go on past Full Gear, because I want Hook, like I want them to actually do something with the kid. And I think if there's somebody that could bring out the best in Hook, it's going to be Christian Cage. Easily.
My thing with Christian Cage, one more question on that before we move on.
Yep.
Like, is he gonna be world champion? Like, is he gonna blow that thing, that contract, or you think he's gonna have a run? I'd rather see Darby Allin take the championship off him if Darby Allin's promised to run.
I hate to say this, but with the way that like the direction of AEW is going in, Jon Moxley's not losing the title anytime soon. I think it's going to be one of the stadium shows. That's where Darby Allin's going to finally win the championship. He's going to get that moment. And then I also believe that after Darby Allin gets that moment, Christian's going to have a failed cash-in, because I just don't see like another heel holding the championship. Because if Christian wins the title, he is not going to be a transitional champion. He's going to hold it for quite some time. You know that, and I know that. So I think, like, with Jon Moxley, he's going to have the title probably all the way until maybe, like, All In next year. And then I think that's where Darby's going to finally get that big moment. And I don't see them giving the title to, Darby's not going to be transitional.
I hope not either.
So I think Christian's just in a shitty situation where I don't think he's going to win the title. As much as I would love to see it, it's just the way the storyline is right now with Jon Moxley and then Darby probably being the one to take the title. I just don't see it happening.
I want to see a Christian Cage Jay White feud, actually.
That could be really good, because Jay White has Bullet Club Gold, Christian has the Patriarch, so like you could do something there with the Guns and Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian too.
A sidebar too. Also, change the Bullet Club Gold name to something else, please.
I kind of like it. But that's just
no.
me.
I've been watching Japan wrestling. There's so many Bullet Clubs out. I've been watching Japan wrestling so much.
Yeah, just like back in
Either
the day,
that-
the NWO, you had
Either
the
that or
PWO.
New Japan needs to have David Finlay change that group's
Wolfpack.
name. Something has to go.
All right, well, with that being said, now let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast episode 133. In the weekly recap, we talk about the highlights that have happened on wrestling television this week. And before we do get into that, once again, shout out to the Lone Ranger, Rage Circus, Ben, for doing a live watch along here on the channel for Crown Jewel. Unfortunately, Ricky and I, we were both busy. And I say we might as well start off the recap by talking about Crown Jewel. But let's not, we're not going to do a full-on review talking about each match and stuff. Just a summary of how we felt about the show. Like, what were some things you liked? What were some things that you hated? Because the show, I rewatched it and I was disappointed.
If I'm being frank, I didn't like nothing. I'm sorry, I didn't like anything. The only thing I probably liked, hold up, is Tiffany Stratton doing another tease cash-in. That's probably the only thing I liked. I didn't like the event at all. I'm sorry, I didn't like it.
I went in with high expectations. I was so mad I was gonna miss it because I'm at Rhode Island Comic-Con, and after Ben messaged me like in the middle of the show, just saying, "Dude, this show is not good."
That's why.
And then you texted me before I watched it the next night, and you said to me too. You said, "Yeah, this was very disappointing."
I watched it when I had the time. That's why I posted it in the That's why I posted it to you in the chat. I'm like, yo, y'all don't watch Crown Jewel. It's trash, my man.
Yeah, and I ended up watching, I watched the highlights of it, and I will say, I didn't like a lot of the booking decisions here. I'm just going to try to give this a quick summary. I'm sure you'll agree with everything I'm saying here. I think having Liv Morgan beat Nia Jax, it's a lose-lose situation because Nia didn't look strong at all in this situation. And just having a heel versus heel just doesn't work. Especially Liv Morgan and Nia, I don't know. I didn't feel that match. I think it's cool getting your world champion on the Raw brand versus the other world champion on the SmackDown brand. It brings me back to the old days with Survivor Series, which is what I was excited about. But for Liv and Nia, to me it didn't work out. Now let's get into the men's Crown Jewel Championship. Gunter versus Cody. Cody could have afforded the loss. Gunter shouldn't have lost. Because now whoever takes that World Championship from him, it's not going to be as big as it could have been having Gunter being on this dominant streak. Cody, look at all the feuds that he's in right now on SmackDown. The New Bloodline, he feuded with them all summer long. Cody Rhodes has to deal with Kevin Owens, who attacked him after Bad Blood. Randy Orton's been kind of teasing a heel turn. So with Cody Rhodes, there's 1,000 ways you could have had him get screwed by Gunter. Gunter doesn't really have a lot of enemies. Now he has Damian Priest, which we will get into in a minute. But Gunter, I think, definitely should have had that win over Cody. And then let's talk about friggin' Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. That was bullshit. I know everybody's trying to justify it by saying, oh my goodness, Bronson Reed got up after a curve stomp, after right away. He looks so strong, mighty. What?
Whole event was
Bronson
trash.
Reed, dude, Bronson Reed should have gotten that win. That would have made him even stronger. You know how many times we've seen people just get up from a curve stomp?
You had to give Seth Rollins that win, though, because he needed a little bit of momentum, too. If it worked like that, Seth needed the momentum a little bit, too. He's still one of the top dogs, so not giving him that win is nobody's gonna take him seriously. So
yeah, but
I think Bronson Reed should win the next match.
He better win the next match,
and then that'll elevate him a little bit more. Cause I do agree with you, he should have won the Crown Jewel, but Seth needed to win too, because if he didn't win that, nobody was gonna take Seth Rollins seriously. Neither of them.
Okay, but Seth Rollins, I'm sick of it. I've seen enough of Seth Rollins. Bronson Reed, Rollins put him over by having him get written off of television for months. And Bronson Reed, they were giving him this monster push. I thought the stuff that him and Braun Strowman were doing was fantastic.
But you need Bronson Reed like a cornerstone. But you need like a cornerstone to feud with. So Seth Rollins fits the bill too on top of that. Because Braun Strowman is a heavyweight fight. It's a heavyweight feud.
Add some adversity to it. Seth Rollins losing to Bronson Reed the first time could have been better because then Rollins would want to fight back, and then you could have given Rollins that second wind, and then they could have moved on, and at least Bronson Reed looked really strong in the process of it. Because the first match could have been a regular match, you could have had Bronson win, which could have been Crowd Jewel. Then at Survivor Series or Saturday Night Main Event, whichever one you decide to, you could have put them in like a last man standing match. You could have had, there's ways you could have made Bronson look strong by losing. You could have had Rollins like tied up his legs or like put the commentary table over him for him not to get up or something. We saw like a forklift back in the day, like where somebody like put the forks down and they couldn't get up. So like
you're talking about Mankind and Rock. I remember that.
Like there are so many ways that they can make Bronson look good, but I think a regular match, Reed should have won that. Like I don't care that he got up. I don't think that did anything for him.
I think, like I said, I think it fits the budget for Seth Rollins to win too. So.
Yeah, I know. They love Seth Rollins. They love his curve stomps.
He's the heart
they
and
love
soul.
His stupid dances.
He's literally the heart
his
and
theme
soul.
songs. I'm over.
And then they got that. Then they got that Monday Night Rollins for a reason. Everybody's hyping that up.
Yeah, and freaking look what happened with Shinsuke Nakamura after his feud with Seth Rollins. He's in catering.
True. You're right. You're actually right about that one. Can't even argue with you on that one.
I will say the women's
tag
match was pretty fun. That was a fun match. That was good. I will say that.
I couldn't listen. Even if I wanted to be honest and nice, I can't even tell you match of the night because like.
But I'm going to tell you my favorite part of Crown Jewel. And that was Solo Sikoa pinning Roman Reigns. He needed that. Solo Sikoa needed that.
Yeah, he needed that.
Now I can finally take Solo Sikoa seriously. I'm not even thinking about all those losses after Crown Jewel last year. Him going on that crazy friggin' like 30 match losing streak.
I don't remember being that.
Now I'm finally taking Solo Sikoa serious because they're actually giving him wins. They're putting him in the ring. Him pinning Roman Reigns, that was huge for him, and he needed that. So I'm very happy with that booking decision.
But yeah, I also liked when Sami Zayn kicked Roman Reigns too.
Yes, that was also a good way to kind of further
made it look like an accident. Made it look like an accident, but then it's like this. After what Sami said on Raw, he tested his loyalty so many times. They put him on trial. All the stuff Sami said, he got a reason to kick him. But sometimes it can be unintentional too. Accidents happen.
I do think it was unintentional, but I think it's a great story.
It adds more substance to it.
It adds more substance. That's the word I was looking for. Because obviously we already know the direction it's going to go in. It's going to be War Games. It's going to be OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline. And
I need a new bloodline to win that. They need to keep that momentum up. Respectfully.
I think Final Ball. I'm going to save that all for the predictions. So I'm not even going to get into it.
Oh, my bad, man.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good. It was my fault. I was about to give my predict. I might as well just say it. I think everybody already knows what I'm thinking. Final Boss is going to be helping New Bloodline win that match, which I think would be great.
Oh, so he can keep the feud going. I get it.
Yes, sir. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But last night we had both AEW Dynamite versus WWE NXT. What was your thoughts on the war?
War was good. I don't know why. Is NXT on Wednesdays now?
So the reason why NXT, they pushed it to Wednesday this week was due to the election.
Oh, in that case, I don't want to see another war. Like, yo, keep it on different days.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to see a war either, but how do you feel about both shows? Like, do you think one was better than the other?
I like the AEW better. Like, and I'm not being biased. I like the AEW show better because it had Bobby Lashley. They had the Hurt Syndicate officially debuting. Then it had Swerve coming out with the chain. Then you had Ricochet, Hobbs, Martin Davis, and Ospreay against the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher's coming into his own. Then you're seeing BCC.
He's been impressing me.
Then you're seeing BCC against Orange and Darby. You had Chris Statlander and Mercedes Monet in the back fighting. Like you said, you had the Christian Cage and Hook segment. You had the MJF calling Don Callis during the his interview.
Yep, another good
then
definitely
Adam Cole,
another
Malachi Black, like
element.
Dynamite caught my attention more than NXT last night. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because I like AEW a little bit more than NXT. I'm not gonna lie, but it had a little bit more depth storyline and substance into it last night. So I was intrigued. I kind of stayed on AEW for the rest of the night. I watched NXT earlier, but then I stayed on Dynamite literally the rest of the show. Respectfully.
So I will say this. Thank you to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that joined the WWE NXT versus AEW Dynamite double show watch along. I do appreciate you guys joining me. I love doing those streams. And I was watching both shows at the same time. But I kind of was leaning a little bit more towards AEW. I felt like they were focusing on their own product. They weren't focusing on what WWE/ECW was doing that night. Which, to me, I think AEW right now, they have been kind of getting away from that. Which is good. They need to just continue to focus on building their own stars, focusing on their own storylines, and just focus on their shows. And not try to compete with WWE. I think that that's where they messed up. So I'm happy that right now, like, they're not doing that. And I think I was watching the entire episode waiting for AEW to slip. Because a lot of the times when they have this, like, war going on, they slip. And they do something. And surprisingly, they didn't do that this time around. And I was impressed. I was generally impressed. And I think that they did a great job building all these matches up for Full Gear, making the event very exciting coming up, which we will be doing a live watch along for. And I will say, like, with WWE NXT, I think the women, they did a great job in that main event. I think that the Javon Evans versus Wes Lee match was really good. I think overall, like, both shows, they delivered in their own respective ways. But I expected more from the ECW people.
Nikita Lyons.
Felt like we didn't get enough.
Nikita Lyons, get back in the ring more often. I'm tired of you. Getting on my nerves now.
But, like, I don't know. I just felt like it was cool seeing Rhino. It was really cool to see Nuncio. Like, it was cool seeing Francine, Dawn Marie. But, like, where was Sandman? He's under a WWE Legends deal. He could have been there. Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, the heart and soul of ECW. Like, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more. Like, getting some, like, more backstage segments with, like, Legends and some of the young guys.
You know what's crazy? You got me wanting to go watch ECW after I get out of here.
Yeah, but I will say the entrance was nice. Like, the whole presentation for NXT, I did think, was better than AEW last night. I think the 2300 arena looked really good.
Mm-hmm. I love the AEW more than NXT. I'm not gonna lie. I told everybody that, like, AEW kept me inclined, and I'm not that type of guy because I don't want to act like I'm biased. Because I was watching both. I was watching some basketball too. Like, I was flipping the channels, such and such, every last night. So I'm like this. I was like, when I stayed on AEW, I stayed on AEW. But I was watching my Heat. I was watching my Miami Heat too. And I'm mad right now, but I'm gonna get to that later.
And that's the thing, though. That's what makes pro wrestling so special, is that all of us, we are wrestling maniacs. We all look at professional wrestling from a different lens. Mm-hmm. Like, there's things that you like that other people might not like. There's things that I like that you don't like. But that's what makes this thing so freaking fun, is that, like, we all, like, see things from a different perspective, from a different lens. And honestly, like, for me, like, yeah, like, I prefer AEW usually more than NXT. But I will say NXT did also really impress me last night. I think that they have a bright future over there, full of talented stars. Their women's division, I think, is the most stacked right now. And I think some of those women, they need to call up to Monday Night Raw as soon as possible. Because Liv Morgan really doesn't have anybody to compete with.
I did like, my favorite over there is NXT right now. Is Javon Evans.
Who's that?
Javon Evans.
Oh, Javon Evans, dude. Yeah, he's pretty
like
good.
And then,
I will
like
say, I hope that
but...
I will say, though, like, I hope that Javon Evans, he stays in NXT for a little while because he's so athletic, so talented, but he does need to slow it down a little bit because he does botch a lot. So I feel like he needs to stay in NXT for a little bit and sharpen up the tools.
He reminds me of
because if he could do that, top 10. He could be a top 10.
Yeah, he reminds me of Will Ospreay a little bit.
Yeah.
Ricochet a little bit.
I kind of see it. But he just has to sharpen up the tools a little bit. But he's only 19, so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I thought he was 24. Somebody
Maybe
told me
he
he was 24
maybe
the
he
other
is.
day. I'm bugging.
I have no idea. All right, so now with that being said, let's get into the topics that we have this week for the recap. Starting things off, this past Monday on Raw, Damian Priest won the Fatal 4-Way match to earn a world title shot against Gunther. What's your thoughts on this?
Kind of predictable he was going to win. Dominic Mysterio, he's going to stay messing with the ladies. That's number one. Number two, Sheamus is they've been teasing Sheamus to go after their Intercontinental Championship, and I'm all for it because that's the only championship on his bucket list that he needs. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to beat Braun Breaker, but he needs a feud right now.
That would be a really good feud.
Yep, he needs a feud right now, and Braun Breaker needs one too. And the Intercontinental title is looking kind of stale and rusty.
I actually kind of like it.
Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, obviously, we know the story.
Oh, Bronson Reed?
Yep. I mean, Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. You already know what's happening there. And Damian Priest, it makes sense because he's been on a little run. But I do see Damian Priest getting screwed because I don't think Finn Balor's totally done with him yet. Yeah,
I was about to say, they have to do something there. And I think that's, why I really don't care that much about... I don't really care that much about Damian versus Gunther because I felt like after he beat Finn Balor at Bad Blood, they just kind of made us forget about it. Damian Priest hasn't really been doing anything with against the Judgment Day.
Nope.
And they just I don't know what it is, but I did hear WWE, they are looking to give Damian Priest a massive push going into 2025 and possibly giving him a second world championship run. I don't think that he will win the title just yet. It's going to be time. It's going to take a lot of time.
Gonna have to rebrand. You got to rebrand them and repackage them now. Not
well,
all
they
the
kind of
way,
have. Have you saw the entrance on Raw, right? This past Monday?
Yep.
They added some more pyro to it.
Nah, but you got to add more depth to his character too.
And I guess there's masks too that they might be selling pretty soon that he's going to start wearing to the ring at times, for his entrances.
And I'm all for it.
They have big plans for Damian, man. 2025 is going to be a big year for him if he stays healthy.
And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But this is just another title defense.
But here's why I'm okay with Damian winning this. Because I will say this. I think Damian Priest should be the next one to beat Gunther for the title. Not yet, but maybe around WrestleMania or SummerSlam of next year. And then you know what I would do? I would have Dirty Dom win the Money in the Bank briefcase and cash in on Damian.
Oh, my God.
I think Dirty Dom, I'm going to be honest with you. Call me freaking crazy, but I know there's a lot of people that might agree with me on this because I have been seeing this narrative. Dirty Dom, I think, should get a world championship run. Hopefully by the end of next year, 2026.
I don't agree. I'm sorry.
Dude, Dirty Dom is so over as a heel right now. He could have a Jeff Jarrett TNA 2005 run with that championship. Imagine him weaseling his... That would be great to watch the kids friggin' suffer and all you guys getting pissed off every time he retains the title. Man, I would love a Dirty Dom world title run, so... Damian Priest getting a title shot, I'm all for.
I'm sorry, I can't. Listen, I lose my mind if that happens. I can't do it. I don't see it. I'm not convinced. And he ain't. If I see him in person, I'll probably put my hands around his neck just because he won the title. I'm just gonna be like this.
And that's the type of heel I want to see holding the world championship. We need that. We're missing that. Gunther is a great heel. Don't get me wrong, but Dirty Dom is next level.
I think Gunther's too old school and honorable, if you ask me.
Yeah, that is true. But I will say I was a little disappointed that Dirty Dom didn't win this Fatal 4-Way, but it wouldn't have made sense for Dirty Dom to face Gunther.
And then you know all these out of state events, right? He's shaking everybody's hands. Gunther, you're a heel. I can't see you do that. Don't shake everybody's hands after an out of state match. You're a heel. Jump him after the match.
I kind of like it. It's different.
I can't. He's a heel. I'm like this.
Because here's the thing. It reminds me of mixed martial arts and boxing. Like the way that Gunter presents himself. Because we've seen it for over 100 years in professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Seeing guys, the typical bad guys, attacking the good people. We've seen it thousands of times. But when it comes to like combat sports, you could still be an asshole. You could still be a heel and friggin' shake the person's hand and just talk smack. And that's what I like about Gunter. Like, he reminds me so much of like Tito Ortiz back in the day with UFC. Like, he talks that shit, and then he goes in the ring and he fucking delivers.
You're right.
It's a different approach, and I think that's what makes him feel like a final boss.
I can't say, like, it's too friendly to me somewhat.
Nah, I get it, though. I get it from your perspective, too.
It's too friendly. Like, you can be I don't know. You can do it somewhat like, I can't see too much. Like, you're a heel, man. I can't see you shaking everybody's hands after a match, bro. I can't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I know the boxing references you just made, but like this, like you're supposed to be the top villain on the roster, man.
And when it comes to wrestling, like, we're not used to seeing something like that with a bad guy. So I understand. I understand it.
That's just my opinion, though. I agree with you.
I totally respect your opinion, too. But moving on now to our next recap, speaking of Monday Night Raw, this past Monday, Io Sky won a Battle Royal to earn a title shot against Liv Morgan. What's your thoughts on this?
Just another filler championship title defense for Liv Morgan. That's all I see it. I don't see Io Sky doing nothing.
Yep, and it's unfortunate because, yes, the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley storyline has been great. It's been fantastic. But they're not really doing anything with the rest of the women on the Raw brand. Like, I thought that, like, Lila, like, Valkyrie, like, she was going to get a huge push and an opportunity. But instead, she's, like, competing in, like, 8-woman tag matches every week on Raw. Like, there's so much talented women on that roster that, like, they're not really utilizing. Like, Io Sky, they lost all the momentum with her when she never got that rematch against Bayley. They just completely forgot about Damage Control and Bayley. And I think that's what really, like, ruined Bayley's, like, women's title run and also ruined, like, the credibility of Damage Control.
Sometimes it's collateral damage, too. Like, sometimes you get lost in the shuffle. Sometimes you get lost in the shuffle a lot.
And, like, Zelina Vega, like, all they're having her do is face Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks every week. Like, you have Natalya you're not doing anything with. That's my problem.
They got her and Carlito being water boy and girls, man. They like this. Go get the water. Like, come on, man.
Like, there's only 3 women wrestlers on the Raw brand that they have been putting stock into. Legitimately. And that is Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Rhea Ripley. And it's unfortunate. And that's why, like, we need to get a women's mid-card title on both Raw and SmackDown, because we need these other women to fight for something. Like, that's why I think the NXT women's division is so stacked, because they also have their own North American championship for their women. So they're able to actually establish newer stars while focusing on the bigger stars like Roxanne, Cora, Julia, Stephanie. Like, having that freaking North American title is doing wonders for some of those underrated women on that roster.
You hear that, Nikita Lyons? You hear that? Get back in the ring.
You and Ben fucking love Nikita Lyons. That's one thing I know.
No. It's not a hate thing. Look, she's on social media too much. You're a wrestler, man. Get in the ring. All the other stuff is after.
Well, she has been dealing with a lot of injuries, I think, too, which is why she hasn't really been in the ring. But she does got to get her. She does got to get healthy. That's for sure.
Listen, I had her in high regards. Now I'm starting to change my mind, like I'm like my Miami Heat right now.
I hear you.
She could be a monster heel.
It must be tough that the Brooklyn Nets that are rebuilding are playing better than the Miami Heat.
I'm gonna blame Jimmy for that. This is all. Listen, never mind. Let's just get on with it.
Man, we need a basketball podcast.
I've been getting upset lately about talking about my Heat lately. So.
Well, I know something that won't upset you, Ricky, because you do love New Japan Pro Wrestling. So our next recap for this week. This past weekend at New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ricochet returned for the first time in 7 years to attack the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. to set up a match for Wrestle Dynasty in January. What's your thoughts on this?
Match of the year candidate incoming. And listen, Ricochet, you still got to get your. I still got to see more of you on your return to the real world. I got to see you. You've been over there in WWE, being viral every single week. You've been a viral. I'm not gonna say laughing stock because some of it's been good, but you've been a viral android over there. Now you're over here back with the big boys, getting down and dirty and actually wrestling again for real. This match right here, match of the year candidate. And it's in the Tokyo Dome, if I'm correct. Every time matches happen in the Tokyo Dome, magic happens.
I will say I am excited to see Dynasty happen because isn't that going to be like AEW, New Japan?
Yep. It's just like it's just like Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Kenny wants the Young Bucks,
cool.
but he wants Tanahashi to be his partner. I haven't heard anything about Okada being announced yet. I hope he's on the card because having Okada on the card like this, having him not on the card like this, really hurts your brand in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I can see him defending the Continental title.
I want to see it. Or he might lose it after the tournament, but we don't know. But Ricochet and Zack Sabre Jr., that's going to be a good... There's no real story behind it, because Ricochet, if you look at it too, he's been hopping back and forth a lot. Like, he's feuding with Takeshita right now, and then he's all the way over here. Like, he's in New Japan now. Like, that's kind of like messing him up a little bit too. Like, because he's not going to win both matches, but it's kind of like messing him up. Because at a certain extent, you actually think he's going to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, but he's really not. And everybody's excited because Ricochet's there. But then on the other hand, with Takeshita, you're like this. He's not going to win the match neither, but he's looking mighty strong right now in AEW at the same time. So, but
here's my problem. Like when it comes to the Forbidden Door stuff, when it's like cross promotional things, I don't like seeing like the same guy. They go to one brand, they're a babyface, and then they go to another brand and they're a heel. And this is the problem that I have with Ricochet to New Japan, because I'm finding what Ricochet did to Zack Sabre Jr. more intriguing than what he's doing in AEW right now. And I think that's maybe because I want to see Ricochet have a heel run, because that's something we never got during his WWE time. But this isn't helping him at all, because when it comes to Dynasty, or when it comes to one of these Forbidden Door pay-per-views, what's Ricochet going to be? Is he going to be this heel who's attacking people, or is he going to be this babyface, this hero that does things the right way? That's the issue that I have here with this. Like, if you're going to be a good guy, be a good guy. If you're going to be a bad guy, be a bad guy. There's a lot of independent wrestlers out there that I notice, like, if I go to, like, Blitzkrieg Pro, for example, one will be a heel, but then over in Long Island, at like Create a Pro, there'll be a babyface. And like I get it, like it's different areas, you're working with different crowds, you want to see what works, what doesn't work, which I think is totally fine in the independent circuit. But I don't know, maybe that's like the OCD in me, where it's like, if you're gonna be something, stick to it. And just times 100. And I think, like, especially in New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW, two of the top professional wrestling promotions in the entire world, you can't be doing that stuff. That's independent shit.
Nope. And then on top of that, there's no story behind this match. Well, you already know it's going to be a classic, but a match like this, I'm not big on the story, but I kind of need a story for this one too.
We do need some context. I agree.
Zack Sabre Jr. is going to retain the championship, obviously. Zack Sabre Jr. He actually has a chance to make some more history here. He has, because since Brock Lesnar, nobody, and I mean nobody, and I know Ricochet doesn't count, but Wrestle Kingdom is the day before Wrestle Dynasty. Zack Sabre Jr. has history to actually be the second non-Japan wrestler to walk out of the Tokyo Dome with the championship. Because Zack Sabre Jr. has Shooter at Wrestle Kingdom, and he has Ricochet at night 2. Now, it's kind of weird to me. Even if Zack does lose the championship, which might be a little off top a little bit, I don't see him losing to Ricochet neither. So Zack is going to retain both nights.
I feel like
and that builds Zack's stock up even more, momentum even more as champion. Because right now, New Japan, They need an American, a.k.a. foreigner Gaijin. They need a top foreigner Gaijin over there to carry the company. And Zack Sabre Jr. fits the bill in so many different ways.
I totally agree. Plus, like, he's got a lot of buzz as one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, especially now that Bryan Danielson has retired. Now, like, there's
Who's going to take that title
spot.
from him right now? I'm waiting
exactly
for somebody to take that title.
Number one spot. Exactly.
Yep, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Yo, Donnie, I'm waiting for somebody to take that title from him right now. I don't see nobody right now.
We're going to have to wait and see. I think he's going to be on a very long title run.
Mm-hmm.
But moving
I
on
really
now
hope
to
so.
our last We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the week. On AEW Dynamite, we saw the return of Powerhouse Hobbs, teaming up with Ricochet to go against his former group, the Don Callis family. What's your thoughts on this?
I'm confused. Well, I'm not confused because in Powerhouse Hobbs...
Can I just say, like, the commentary team did a great job here. Like when Ricochet came, or when Powerhouse Hobbs came out, talking about the history with him and the Callis family. I think that they did a good job there. Normally, AEW doesn't go into context with that.
I think Powerhouse Hobbs needed this, but at the same time, I don't want to see him turn heel because a lot of people want him to join the Hurt Syndicate so quickly. I don't listen. Let Powerhouse Hobbs get his stock back up. No, listen. Let Powerhouse Hobbs get his stock back up a little bit, man. Like, he don't need to be joining another heel faction right now, especially after they just repackaged and rebranded him as a face right now. I'd rather see him do what he did before he joined Team Taz. At least feud with them until they give it the angle that he finally opened his eyes, just like Team Taz, and joins them eventually. Right now,
I was just gonna say that because
right
that's
now,
the thing with
Powerhouse Hobbs.
That's the thing with Powerhouse Hobbs. I want to see him have a babyface run. Like, I think right now in AEW they are lacking big men who are babyfaces. I feel like every single big muscular guy on their roster is a heel at this point. And I think they really need to have some babyfaces in there. And I think Powerhouse Hobbs is perfect for the job. Because I think that Powerhouse Hobbs feuding with Bobby Lashley is more beneficial for Powerhouse Hobbs than him joining the Hurt Syndicate.
Facts. Exactly. Because right now, like, I need to see Hobbs on a babyface run before y'all throw him into another faction. Because him joining the Hurt Syndicate at this point, and you might not agree, is inedible at this point. Because everything is there. MVP, the mouthpiece, Bobby Lashley, the muscle, Shelton Benjamin. What is Shelton Benjamin? Like, the sergeant in arms? How about the sergeant? And then you got Powerhouse, literally the bodyguard. Like, what more can you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, Bobby Lashley's the star.
Like, it would work out for Powerhouse Hobbs, but long term, having him feud with them, I think there's just so much more like benefits to that to really build his confidence up. And I think Powerhouse Hobbs, like, he has all the tools in the bag to be a future world champion anywhere he goes. But there's just something missing.
And add, I forgot. And they can add Ricochet in there.
I would love to see Ricochet join Hurt Syndicate.
Because just like you said, with the heel run, with Zack Sabre, I wouldn't mind it either. I wouldn't mind.
And that's the thing. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But I'm glad that they kind of had Powerhouse Hobbs move on from the Callis family because it didn't really work out for him. And now with, like, Archer taking that spot, there you go. You could have Powerhouse Hobbs feud with his former friend, Brian Cage, and Archer.
My man Lance Archer been getting, they've been slaying my man they've been slaying my man for years. Lance Archer.
You know what's funny? I've been seeing memes online with Brian Cage and Lance Archer, and fans are saying that they should start coming out with Road Warrior spikes.
Lance Archer needs, listen, they need to
because they've been
Lance
burying
Archer
a bunch
something.
of jobbers on Rampage.
They need to give
week.
Lance Archer something because they keep slaying my son every week on the channel.
I think all he cares about is that Tony Khan paycheck. I hate to say it.
I'm sorry, Lance, man. I'm defending you, Archer, till the end, though.
But I will say I'm happy that Powerhouse Hobbs is back as a babyface, and I hope it does work out for him because he is very talented.
Yep.
But
exactly.
Up next, we do have our We Are Wrestling Comment of the Week, and of course, the We Are Wrestling Weekly News and Rumors. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 133.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Saturday, November 16th at the South End Community Center in Springfield, Mass. We Are Wrestling is returning to the Wrestling Classic 5.
Zombie Hideout and Captain's Corner is putting together a lineup full of wrestling legends and Hall of Famers you have the opportunity to meet.
Some of the big names you can meet includes good old Jim Ross, Donovan Dijak, Deborah, and many more stars to be announced.
We Are Wrestling will be selling exclusive merchandise you can only find at the Classic, and for the very first time, we'll be recording a special bonus episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast.
We highly encourage the We Are Wrestling Maniacs to come to our booth and hang out with us. You can interact and meet the best one, Donnie, Ben, and Ricky Knows Best.
This will be the best wrestling classic yet, and it will all be happening on Saturday, November 16th at the South End Community Center in Springfield, Mass.
Get your tickets now at www.zombie-hideout.com. We're back, and on Saturday, November 16th, We Are Wrestling will be at the Wrestling Classic 5. We're going to be having a table with merchandise, and we're not going to be alone because little Guido Nuncio will be hanging out with us, and he just appeared on NXT. So if you guys want to come shoot the shit with us, have a good time, we're going to be at the Wrestling Classic 5, November 16th, and then Blitzkrieg Pro later on that night. So, every week we do this thing called the We Are Wrestling Comment of the Week. If you want to get your comment featured on a future episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, all you got to do is just leave a comment. This week, this is on the Orange Cassidy challenges Jon Moxley at AEW Full Gear reaction video, and the comment is from Derek Loves T, and he commented this: I really hope we get Darby and Claudio at Full Gear. How would you feel about that, Ricky? Claudio versus Darby.
Could put it on the card. Give Darby Allin a feud, or give him a match on the card, because Darby Allin's one of the most over guys. So it makes sense somewhat, but isn't Claudio a trios champion too? So
he is.
How would that make somewhat sense? Anything? Due to styles wise, I would put him in the ring with Pac. But Claudio's bigger, so Claudio's like, he's more of a heavyweight, he's stronger, so it's like, it's a David versus Goliath situation, so I'm also for that too. But him and Pac, I think their style would match a little better, because they're both high flyers, and they both rely on their speed and technical prowess.
You see, I want to get
either way
that.
could work.
I think I want to see that like at a later point. Like maybe like World's End, I think that would be a good match for that pay-per-view. But I really do want to see Claudio and Darby, because every time I see Claudio hit Darby with like an uppercut, I'm just like, damn, I can't imagine how good that match would be for like a Full Gear or like a pay-per-view. Because Claudio does so good with smaller guys in the ring, and he knows how to make them look good, but also makes himself look really good in the process of doing it.
Facts.
But we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens there. I'm all for it. How about you?
Like I said, it's a David versus Goliath situation. So
yeah, so Ricky Knows Best and the best one, Donnie, we're all for it. But congratulations on the comment of the week. If you want to get your comment featured on a future episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, all you got to do is just drop a comment. It could be on the We Are Wrestling YouTube page. It could be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever We Are Wrestling is on. You can put a comment and you have the chance of being featured. So, with that being said now, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors, where every week we talk about all the crazy drama, all the things going on in the wrestling community, and starting things off, which I think this week, for my birthday, we have a hot friggin' news week, so here we go. We got some WWE Netflix news. According to Fightful, Netflix has mentioned CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes as names on the men's side they're hoping to feature on Raw. When reaching out to WWE, they noted that the rosters aren't decided as of yet. One higher-up joked, Saudi wanted Yokozuna. We want Yokozuna back too. And I'm sure Netflix does too. So, Ricky, what's your thoughts on Netflix wanting to have 3 of WWE's biggest stars on the Raw brand?
they want They want to make a first impression. They want viewers. They want the YouTube. I mean, shoot. They want the Netflix viewers, the wrestling fans to tune in. So repackaging their product and actually having the 3 top honchos on the same show shows that they're actually trying to show that they're serious. But then at the same time, SmackDown might be kind of screwed too, if you ask me. You can't put all that star power on one show and then there's nothing on the other show. That doesn't really make that much sense to me, and it's not really fair if you look at it from a certain standpoint. All that star power on Raw and nothing on SmackDown, that doesn't make any sense. Unless SmackDown's going back to that land of opportunity image, then I'm all for it.
It did work for the land of opportunity, though.
I'm all for it. If they're going back to that, then and I'm actually all for it. But putting all your top guys on Raw, I don't really like it. But if it's for viewership and for political reasons behind the scenes, then in the sense, go for it. I'm all for it. If you're all for it, I'm all for it. That's just me, though.
You see, here's my problem with this. You got to have both brands have to be fair at the end of the day, because you don't want to lose viewership over on the SmackDown brand just because WWE is on Netflix and this is a huge monumental moment in professional wrestling.
Yep.
Because this is going to be the first time that Monday Night Raw is not on cable television. And they have to find a way here, either to make new stars to put over on SmackDown, or they are going to have to disappoint Netflix and do something. Because one thing I've learned with this Triple H era is they're really trying to make things fair on both brands. That's why they brought in Adam Pearce for the Raw brand. That's why they brought in Nick Aldis for the SmackDown brand, to kind of draw things in the middle. And with Triple H's WWE, he's very invested in the draft. And how are you going to realistically have Raw get the number 1 pick? They end up selecting Cody Rhodes. And then number 2 goes to SmackDown. And they end up going after Seth Rollins or somebody like that. And then we go into the next pick. Raw selects Roman Reigns. And then how do they not pick CM Punk? SmackDown. You see, they can't realistically make this work, I think.
True. You're right.
But I wouldn't be mad with SmackDown being the land of opportunity, but you still need to draw tickets. And the only way that I could see something like this happening, Roman, Punk, Cody, is if Jey Uso is on the opposite brand of Roman Reigns. I think you're going to have Drew McIntyre on the opposite brand. You're going to have to switch up a lot of things to make this happen. And I don't see it happening, which is why I think the higher up made the Yokozuna joke. Because Netflix, realistically, they don't know.
They're going off popular opinion instead of actually pay attention. Translation, you guys on Netflix are really casuals.
Yes, very. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I hope it works out, though, for WWE with Netflix.
SmackDown better get something back. SmackDown better get something back out of it. Or a land of opportunity.
They better.
Or a land of opportunity gimmick. I'm all for it again.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And I think it would benefit SmackDown a lot. Because then you can actually push stars like Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker. You can end up pushing Bronson Reed. Some of those guys that aren't getting the opportunities that they're getting probably right now because they are being foreshadowed by a guy like Cody Rhodes or a CM Punk. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors topic, we got some huge Ring of Honor TV news. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, negotiations are close for an ROH TV deal. The idea behind Chris Jericho's second ROH World Championship reign is that having him as the face of the brand will mean more during these negotiations. What's your thoughts on Ring of Honor finally getting close to a television deal?
About freaking time. Put some respect on Ring of Honor's name. Put it there and leave it there. But okay, my other opinion. This is actually good for Ring of Honor because now I'm hopefully, because we've been hoping for so long. I've been hoping for so long. Ring of Honor finally gets back to the glory that it previously had. Just like TNA. TNA's trying to come back up. Ring of Honor, I hope they're in that same boat, trying to come back up. Because Ring of Honor, I've been watching Ring of Honor. And Ring of Honor's been very good. Like, I'm not going to lie.
You know there's only one way that they could do that, right?
Yep.
And that's Tony Khan giving somebody else creative control.
Yep. Tony Khan, you shouldn't mess this up. Like, get off that. Never mind. Tony Khan, you need to start listening to people around you, man. You got too many yes men around you. You need to have somebody with some common sense around you. And Chris Jericho being the ROH champion, he's a big name. He's a legend. He'll put some viewers in, but it's up to Ring of Honor after Jericho loses the belt. It's up to them to keep the viewers in too, because you can't rely on a 54-year-old old man. Respectfully, Jericho. You can't rely on Jericho to really keep the ratings up. There's very much Jericho can do. Big name in wrestling, legend, yes, but you have to find that next guy over there in Ring of Honor. Because if you're not finding that next guy, oh my bad. If you're not finding that next guy, you really can't depend on your company to grow. You're using the past to try to commence the future, and that's not how it works. Because the past, there's very much the past can do at this point. They done made their bones. It's up to the future now to really use it well and push this culture forward. This wrestling culture that we love, it's up to y'all to push it forward now. Y'all trying to keep it back, y'all gonna demise. It's gonna be like WCW all over again.
You see, I'm not going to be disrespectful like Ray Circus was a couple weeks ago on the show and absolutely bury Chris Jericho. I will say I respect what he's done in the business. First-class Hall of Famer, one of the greatest, but the dude really needs to take a break because the more he's on television, the more stock is just going down. Like, he's one of those stocks that, like, you could have made $1 million cashing it in years ago, but you just hold on to it because you think you're going to get more money, and you're not. Like, now you've lost money that you've invested into him. And that's the thing, like, with Ring of Honor, I want separate it. I'm tired of seeing the Ring of Honor champion on AEW Dynamite. Why can't Jericho go on Ring of Honor television? What, like, every ROH World Champion under Tony Khan, they have been on AEW more than Ring of Honor itself. And if you want me to be invested in Ring of Honor, how about you keep certain guys and girls over there to give me a reason to tune in? There's a reason why I don't tune into ROH, and that's because most of the time I could watch them on AEW. The only people I can't really watch is Athena, who's the ROH Women's Champion, who's absolutely killing it right now.
She's been killing it.
And Billy Starks, who is also a very bright star. Like, their women's division, they're doing great in Ring of Honor. But now, like, they need to find that balance when it comes to the men. People that aren't getting opportunities in AEW, like, I want to see, like, Top Flight, Action Andrade, like, send those guys over to Ring of Honor and keep them there. Use Ring of Honor as that developmental territory. Let these top independent stars get used to television first and have them go to Ring of Honor to do that. Then you can bring them up to Dynamite or Collision or even Shockwave if that ever happens with Fox. And I think Jericho going to Ring of Honor could be a really good thing if they just keep him there.
Going back to Athena for a minute.
And I think Ring of Honor should have its own arena too. Like, they should, like, go, like, to Universal Studios or go to Arlington, Texas and go into that arena and tape shows.
You know that you talk about Athena now? Because everybody's complaining about her legendary title run. I'm like this. When the day comes she loses that championship, somebody else wins it, then what? Y'all gonna complain over the next girl too? All that hard work Athena
but I think
did.
a lot of people are complaining about Athena, though, because, like, nobody really watches Ring of Honor. And they want to see her. They want to see her on television. They don't want to pay for
but I'm saying I'm saying that just gives everybody another reason not to watch Ring of Honor. Because after this legendary championship run and the story she's been doing over there, all the work she's been doing, just for somebody else to come over there, they're not gonna care no more. They're just gonna be like, she's putting so much prestige into that championship right now. The next lady to go over there and win it, guess where the prestige is gonna go? Punk, punk, punk.
Like, all I know is with Ring of Honor, I want Ring of Honor people to be there. I want AEW people to have AEW people there. You can have your Forbidden Door pay-per-views. I'm okay with some New Japan guys and Ring of Honor people showing up on Dynamite here and there.
Shout
but
out to my
every
New
week,
Japan guys.
That's where I have my problems. That's where I have to draw the line in the sand. But I am happy, though, that Ring of Honor is close to a TV deal, because I think that could benefit the ROH brand, and maybe Tony Khan will actually give a fuck and do something with it.
Ring of Honor's been good, though. Like, Ring of Honor really has been... I know you haven't been watching. I know you don't watch it because you just gave me the reasons, but they've been good lately. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not saying that... I'm not saying that to make you watch it. I'm being dead serious with you at the same time.
How are the varsity athletes on
the
there?
Varsity athletes? Yeah, they've been doing
Smart
good.
Mark, because I'm a Smart Mark guy. I like Smart Mark.
They've been
Sterling.
doing good. They've been taken serious. Like, they still need another. Like, I think they need to win the tag titles, but they're doing good over there. Like, they're very good. I'm not gonna hold you. Shane Taylor Promotions could be the top heel faction over there if Tony Khan actually put more effort into it. And then if Jericho makes the ROH World Title serious, and like I said, somebody has to step up too. Somebody has to be that other guy on that other side too. But ROH,
and that's like what I mean. Like, I want to see like Iron Savages like just stay on Ring of Honor. I want to see Action stay on only Ring of Honor, because I think that could be a great way to build stock up, and I think that's why like Athena does have some stock in her, even though a lot of people don't watch ROH anymore. Is because they keep her exclusively there. Like, when I go to AEW shows, I remember, I think it was the time that we went to the show in Hartford, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people were leaving after the show for Collision, and there were certain people that actually stayed because they wanted to see Athena wrestle. And I heard a lot of fans that night saying that, like, we're gonna stay until the Athena match.
Mm-hmm.
So Athena is a draw for ROH, and I think if they could just do that more with the roster and just keep them on Ring of Honor only, because we don't see Athena ever on AEW TV.
Nope.
That could benefit so many people. I think that could benefit AEW a lot.
And despite the fact that she's staying on ROH, that shows you that she's truly dedicated too.
Exactly. Plus, like, if they do get the TV deal, I want to see AEW sign some new independent stars, because there's so many talented guys right now in our area, especially at Blitzkrieg Pro and Creative Pro Wrestling. Like, I want to see, like, Bobby Orlando get an opportunity, TJ Crawford. I want to see Cruel get an opportunity. And I think, like, man, AEW, they need to really start scouting people, especially now that WWE has this, like, independent program they're doing.
You said TJ Crawford. Remember that guy?
Man, he's very talented.
Yeah, he's hilarious too.
Oh,
he never shook my hand. He didn't shake my hand one time. That got me a little tight, but
doing his job. But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. We have a WWE Global Tour happening before WrestleMania 41. WWE will be traveling across 7 countries in Europe during the road to WrestleMania. And here's what we have here. So on March 14th, SmackDown's going to be taking place in Spain. They got a couple live events in Germany. It looks like they are going to be going to I'm not even going to try pronouncing that, but they're going to be going to another place for Raw. Italy's going to be in SmackDown. Ireland's going to have a live event. Looks like they're going to be having another live event in Northern England. Scotland's going to get a Raw. England's going to get a SmackDown. Australia's going to get a live event. Netherlands is going to get another live event. And then London, England's going to get Monday Night Raw. So, Ricky, how do you feel about WWE doing like a little global tour before WrestleMania this next year?
I love it. Going around the world before the big one. Going around the world before the big one. I actually love it. Plus, they're interacting with other fans that barely see them as much as we do, like American fans. I mean, not like, I mean, I know they see out of state, like out of country fans and everything, but like they're actually giving more time to the out of state fans. So all the people that watch it over there, or Japan, Spain, Mexico, England, Ireland, everywhere you just said, they're finally getting the chance to see them up person a lot more now. So it's actually a good look for WWE. And then I hope they do it more, because some of the crowds I've watched on the pay-per-views, those crowds have been lit too. So these crowds,
That's what I'm saying. They deserve this.
Those crowds might be energized over there when they go over there. They might be a lot energized. Like they're like this. They're literally cheering down the neck. You go to a place like New York or Chicago, they barely cheering. You go over there to Spain or Japan or Saudi Arabia, whatever, like they're literally cheering their hearts out.
For real. I totally have to agree with you on that. I will say, to me, like, the road to WrestleMania is always, like, the most exciting time, because that's, like, where, like, we're finally going to be finishing up the stories, and this is where, like, sometimes the wrestlers, they make or break. And I think going overseas and having, like, a few episodes of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, especially before the biggest event of the year, is fucking brilliant. Because a lot of the times they do their international tours after WrestleMania. But doing it before WrestleMania is a great way to advertise the biggest show of the year, our Super Bowl. I think that this is brilliant, what they're doing here. And honestly, like, it's going to make the episodes of Raw and SmackDown during that time even more excitable to watch.
Facts.
Like, I can't wait. This is brilliant on WWE's behalf.
Because you got, like I said, like there's a lot of energy. Like them crowds are gonna be electric. Every building they go to, them crowds are gonna literally cheer their whole hearts out. Like I said, you don't get that in America no more, because we so used to it. Like American fans are so used to these wrestlers being over here, but the out of states, other countries, they're not. So every chance they get, they're gonna literally cheer. Like they're gonna be real dedicated. Like.
Yeah, because us Americans are greedy, and friggin' those internationals, they are humbled. They're grateful.
I wouldn't say that all the way. Because we don't know. But I don't like to agree with America's method sometimes either. But we both from here, so
but
we
come
can't
on,
get...
literally, like United States crowds literally sit there and they just go. While these international shows, they're freaking screaming on the top of their lungs, and
you know the fans.
It's
you
great.
know what kind of fans those are that do that? You know what kind of fans those are that do that? Those are
Football.
casuals. Those are casual ones.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of casuals in the United States. Yes, I do agree.
There's a lot of casuals in the United States.
But I was gonna say, like, a lot of the international fans, like, are football fans, which is soccer in their country, and soccer fans are next level. Which is why I love, like, when WWE goes overseas for, like, a PLE or, like, a live event, because the crowds are so electric overall.
And then I'd be like, I was watching an event one day, I was like...
We do not deserve PLEs in America.
Nope. Don't jinx it, though, because they're going to stop it for real and give it to them.
They deserve it!
Nah, but I'm dedicated. I still need it over here. I'm dedicated, so not yet.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. This happened when I was out in Rhode Island, and shout out to and Justin We Trust, one of my buddies that told me this news. I was in line when I had to post this over on the We Are Wrestling social media, but WWE made some cuts. According to Fightful, Tegan Knox and Indy Hartwell are departing WWE and will effectively become free agents in 90 days. Also, Baron Corbin was given notice by WWE that his contract will expire and he will not be re-signed. What's your thoughts on these decisions? And I believe as of right now, these are the only three that are getting released, pretty much.
First
There
of all,
won't be any more cuts.
Baron Corbin, he's been underused a lot. Baron Corbin is very underrated.
Should have never called him up from NXT.
Nope. Baron Corbin is very underrated in every aspect. As a heel, a big man, and plus he's done everything you asked him to do. He's literally one of the top heels back in 2018 when I was still working at my other place. And he was the Raw general manager. He bragged about being Curtis. Him being the Raw general manager was hilarious to me.
Hated it.
It was very hilarious to me because he was a fake corporate type of general manager, but at the same time he was a comedian at the same time. But before that, back to the Lone Wolf days, I actually considered him to be a future world champion for a minute. He won the Money in the Bank. He was convincing to me. Former United States champion.
That failed cash-in, it breaks my heart every time I think about it.
And then him beating Jinder Mahal would have put a big smile on my face because at that time I did not want Jinder being champion any longer. Then John Cena had to mess up. Your childhood hero had to mess that all up, though. Thank you, Cena. That's one of the reasons. John Cena had to mess that up.
I know. Super Cena ruined it for all of us.
Cena, why'd you mess that up, man? That's the only thing that I'm mad at you at to this day. You shouldn't have messed. You could have messed anything else up. I just needed that one, and I couldn't even get that from you. Instead, you had to mess it all up. Because Baron Corbin, I could have seen him be WWE champion. Even as a transitional champion, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, he said me burying Nexus wasn't enough. Me burying Alex Riley wasn't enough. I needed to bury Baron Corbin.
That's crazy. Like, and despite the fact that he buried him, makes me even madder. But Baron Corbin was a very underrated asset to WWE. They just didn't utilize him right. But I hope Baron Corbin, he finds his way back in WWE because his story doesn't end here in WWE. He has a lot more to do over here, bro.
I don't think so. And I said this last week on the Power of the Poll because during our Power of the Poll last week, we pretty much asked the Maniacs who should Triple H give like a second chance to. And Baron Corbin was the one that actually won the Power of the Poll. And one of the points that I made was Baron Corbin just doesn't fit what Triple H is doing right now in the WWE. Baron Corbin was a perfect Vince guy because pretty much he did everything that he was told. Baron Corbin's one of those guys that he's a great soldier. You tell him to do something, he's going to go out there regardless if he has to wear a tutu, and he's going to make the best of the situation. And with Triple H, he gives you more leeway. He gives you more creative freedom. And some people benefit from that, while others, they're soldiers. They're better at taking orders than giving orders. And I think that's the issue with Baron Corbin was he had a great run in NXT. He should have won the championship during the 2.0 era. And I think that they made a huge mistake drafting him to SmackDown. They should have just kept him over in NXT. And he was just picking up a lot of momentum over there. Mm-hmm. But it's unfortunate. I think that he did run his course. He did everything that he could to the best of his ability. And I think that this is a good move that Baron Corbin's not in WWE anymore because I think that he's going to be one of those former WWE guys that's going to strive outside of World Wrestling Entertainment. And I could see two things happening. The first thing, I could see Baron Corbin going to AEW. And I think that Baron Corbin is going to be paired up with MJF. Because a lot of people do not realize the relationship that these two have outside of wrestling. And I think that they're going to do something there because they have like teased a little bit going back and forth on Twitter, taking pictures of them with their like luxury cars, like trying to show off like what they have and stuff. So I could see something there happening. Like Baron Corbin could be like MJF's Wardlow in 2025. Second scenario I could see happening, Baron Corbin going to TNA and becoming TNA World Champion, being a main event star that he was supposed to be in WWE.
Right. I like that.
And that could be another way to open up the door again to show WWE that, look, you made a mistake. You kind of lit a fire under my ass. And I think Baron Corbin could be somebody that could be a huge star that TNA could build around.
Hey, listen. I hate hearing that sometimes too.
Ooh, what about the Death Riders, though? What if Baron Corbin joined the Death Riders? That could be pretty cool.
Who?
Because with the Lone Wolf gimmick, like, he fits the mold for the Death Riders.
Easy for me. That's too easy to me.
Ooh, I kind of want him to join I want him to go to the Death Riders, man. That'd be sick.
I'd rather see him in TNA, like you said. But don't you hold up? Don't you hate that narrative? Hold up. Don't you hate that narrative too? Because every time they go to another company, right, and they end up coming out as stars, WWE wants them back, though, right? Don't you hate that?
Oh my god, I hate it.
Don't you hate that?
It.
I really, bro. I hate that with a passion because it's like this. Y'all didn't see the potential when he was over there, but let somebody else go over there and do something better with him. Now y'all want get that crap out of here, man. I'm not taking it.
I hate the narrative of like when AEW people leave to WWE, they get shit on. When WWE people leave and go to AEW, they get shit on.
Exactly.
Like, why do people not like change? I think it's great when things get spiced up because seeing somebody on the same thing for years and years and years, it's boring. Absolutely boring. Like Cody Rhodes leaving AEW, he got so much hate for it. But come on now. Towards the end of that run, it was getting so stale, it was boring. So him going to WWE was one of the best things that happened for him.
Like I said, I hate that narrative because when they leave a company, they want to crap on them at this company. Oh, WWE should have did this better. AEW should have did this better. Bro, none of us fans know what's better and what's not better all the way until it happens, man. Because I'm not about to do that no more. I'm gonna be like
business side of it too.
I'm just gonna be like this. I'm just gonna watch it and let it play out. I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be a neutral fan. I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna wait till the show comes on and be like this. Oh, okay. I'm liking where this is going. Oh, I'm liking where this is going. You get what I mean? I'm not just about to be like this. Oh, he's not in WWE no more. Oh, he's not in AEW. You get what I'm saying? Like, I ain't doing that. I'm not eating that, bro.
Yeah, I kind of want to see him in the Death Riders now that I'm thinking about it. That or MJF would be so cool with Baron Corbin.
That's my opinion, though, too. So,
but I won't be mad. Like, I do hope like Baron Corbin does continue to wrestle because I think that there's so much more that he could still bring to the business. And I just think that given the right opportunity, he could definitely strive. But I don't want to forget either about Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell. And I will say, like, Tegan Nox, I'm not surprised at all that she got released. They haven't really been doing anything with her on the Raw brand. And I believe she was one of Triple H's, like, former NXT guys that he brought back. So I will say with Nox, I never really saw the hype. I do think that she is very talented in the ring. I do wish her nothing but the best. I could see her going to, like, TNA or something and absolutely killing it because she is good. I just don't think that she's ever gotten the right opportunity. And injuries have not been the best with her. But I will say I was very shocked with Indy Hartwell getting released. I did not see that happen.
According to what I read, she hasn't been released. Somebody said that's false information.
Oh, so somebody... Hold on, I'm going to double check this real quick. But what's your thoughts on Tegan Nox, though, getting released at least?
She's underrated. I like her in-ring style. But I do wish her the best because for some weird reason, WWE wants to release the talented people that are that good, but then at the same time, they think there's no value left in them. But I do wish her the best because she's actually underrated in that ring. I do love what she brought. You know, I'm just wishing her best in her future endeavors. That's it.
Yeah,
Just Indy Hartwell news.
So right now I am looking this up with Indy Hartwell, and I believe she is actually released because she posted 5 days ago. I got to live out a childhood dream for the last 5 years, and I'm so grateful. I'm just a girl from Australia who never took Nora for an answer and made her dream a reality. It all started with a match in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, and it ends here too. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And then I know CM Punk commented saying, like, it's not over for you yet, or something.
Oh, okay. Because she said it was false information a few weeks ago, but then I could be wrong. I'm wrong sometimes. Don't kill me for it.
But no, with Indy Hartwell, I was a little bit surprised because...
Speaking of that...
Triple H, no, because one thing with Triple H is He is very high on Candice LeRae, Johnny Wrestling, Tommaso Ciampa, and Indy Hartwell fits in that mold too.
That's what I was about to say too. Like, Candice LeRae was just putting in work. Like, she's getting pushed right now a little bit. Had an upset pinfall victory over Bayley, even though Hartwell was the reason for it. You should have just kept that angle going right there. Keep Hartwell in. Like, I don't understand the release.
And I don't understand it either because I think like
it's actually a good. It's
because
a good
Indy
idea
and Candice, they would have been great women tag champions. They had a great run in NXT with the women tag belts. I'm surprised we never got that with the main roster. I thought that they could have been great.
I think my opinion, Triple H was looking for the right timing, but it never showed up.
Yep.
So then he was like this. He had to make a decision, and even though it might have hurt him a little bit because he's very fond of the Gargano and Ciampa relationship and the LeRae.
It's a business at the end of the day.
It's a business thing at the end of the day. So then it's like, I'm gonna have to let you go. Hopefully you come back. Hopefully you come back if the opportunity presents itself. But then they're like, we got to do it this time. Like, we apologize.
And that's
but
the thing.
She was very like,
I was always invested in her, especially during the time where she had the NXT Women's title when she had that run with the world title. I thought that she had a great run. She looked good.
They were about to push her and Candice, but like we said, business is business at the end.
And then she got over as hell with Dexter. Like, I don't understand why we didn't do anything with that on the main roster either.
Does he talk? That's my question. Does he talk?
Oh yeah, go back to Impact Wrestling. Watch Samuel Shaw stuff.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that time? Like, he was like stalking Christy Hemme.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Dude, like the drawings.
That's who that is? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's Samuel Shaw, dude. That's Dexter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He feuded with Mr. Anderson in Impact.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because he doesn't look like that now.
Dude, you gotta go back and watch some of that Samuel Shaw stuff because it's really underrated during that time.
All right.
No, so good.
I get it.
But yeah, no, that's Dexter Lumis, man. But I will say, like, I am surprised that they actually did release her. Like, I thought that she would be somebody that, like, if they had no plans for her, they would just send her to NXT. But, I will say, like, when it comes to Tegan, Indy, Baron Corbin, I wish all three of them nothing but the absolute best. I really want them to continue in this business because I feel like they still have so much more to give. And go prove to WWE that they made a mistake by releasing you. And I think that all three of these talented stars, I think definitely have an opportunity to do that. And I think they will have jobs outside of WWE easily.
Go to TNA or AEW or Ring of Honor.
Or Ring of Honor, yeah.
Or New Japan. Well, no. That's a little too deep for y'all. That's a little too wrestling deep for y'all.
It is, but moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. Fans are speculating that Malachi Black worked his last match in AEW last night on Dynamite. According to Fightful, the word backstage in AEW in recent months was they believe Malachi Black would be done with AEW towards the end of 2024 or early 2025. However, this hasn't been confirmed. What's your thoughts on this news coming out and his overall booking in AEW as a whole?
His booking as a whole in AEW? Lackluster. Yes. Lackluster, if I'm being frank with you. Think about it. What has Malachi Black, apart from trios, what has he really done to stand out?
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm sorry. The trios championships, that's it. Man has all the aura and potential to be a main event caliber type of player, but guess what? Tony Khan, for the obvious reasons ever, he's messing that up. He's throwing that down the drain. Please, Tony Khan, let me be a booker, please. Let me do this right. Can I do it? Please? Because you're not doing it right, man. You're messing up a lot of guys right now. Now,
yeah, I can't believe he missed.
If he goes back to WWE as Aleister Black, if he goes back to that, Tony Khan's going to be punching the air like Trey and Boys in the Hood right now. He's going to be like this. I'm sick of this. He's going to be punching the air like Trey from Boys in the Hood when that happens. Because, Tony Khan, this is on you. And you let Malachi, a.k.a. Aleister Black, go back over there. And then look at the House of Black. Look at Brody King and Buddy Matthews. they're going to be lost in the shuffle after he leaves, correct? They are going to be
I
lost
think Buddy
in the shuffle.
Matthews is going to be lost in the shuffle, but I don't think Julia Hart and Brody. I don't think they're going to be lost.
Brody King still has value left, though. Brody King.
Yeah.
And he just signed a new contract. He has value left.
Well, Buddy also re-signed a contract, too, but I just think that they're going to have no idea what to do with Buddy Matthews.
Nope. He's just going to be lost. He should have just went back to WWE with his girlfriend. Call it him and Dirty Dom feuding would have been good, too. Bring him in the mix. That makes sense. Bring him in the mix.
But that's the thing, though. Like, when it comes to, like, Malachi Black, it's so disappointing.
Talent.
Because
top-tier talent in the wrong environment.
Dude, they could have done so much with him in AEW. Like,
I
love the House of Black. Mm-hmm. And one of the prime examples of, like, actually utilizing him properly would have been the feud with Adam Copeland. It was great the way that they did that booking there with Malachi and Adam. And if you just did that with Malachi throughout his AEW run, it wouldn't have been so lackluster. Like, they should have been having him feud with the top guys in the AEW promotion and having Brody and Buddy pretty much do the dirty work. And then you have to go through them to get to Malachi. That's how they should have been booking him. But I will say this, I am very excited about WWE being interested in him. I know we talked about that like a month ago here on the show. And I think him going to WWE now, under Triple H, I think that he's going to reach his full potential if they book him the way they did it in Black and Gold NXT. I don't want Alistair to talk. I want him to have that same entrance that he had before. He had aura in NXT. And that's the Alistair I want in the WWE if he does go back there.
I kind of want him to cut promos because he's actually good at them. He gives me a Raven vibe over him. I wouldn't mind him doing a few promos. I get what you're saying, though, but...
He reminds me of, like, an Undertaker, but, like, with actual movesets.
Yeah. He's put it like this.
I thought during Black and Gold NXT, Aleister Black was the next Undertaker. That's what I thought they were going to have him be.
Mm-hmm. Well, put it like this. How about put it like this? He's more of like an Undertaker moveset or somewhat. Undertaker style, but promo-wise, he's like Raven, too. He's a Raven a little bit, too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because Alistair could cut some promos, man. Don't sleep on his promo.
But I want to see, like... Because WWE's got some solid big man in there, and I would love to see, like, Alistair feud with, like, Bronson Reed. I'd love to see Alistair and Karrion. I think that could be a really good program there. That would be great.
They've been burying Karrion Kross, too, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking what they're doing here with him. They're not really burying him, technically. I kind of like the story arc, but they do need to get him back in the main event picture, though.
Either that, or he needs to change something, because him being with the Authors of Pain, I thought that was going to work. The Authors of Pain haven't been being used right.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, when it comes to Alistair, or Malachi, one thing that I do want to address here, because he did talk about this on his Instagram page earlier today before we started recording the show, that he is not retiring, because there were speculations that he was, like, done with wrestling after this, and he pretty much had to clear the air, which I don't know why, like, this happens to him every freaking time. But I will say, I think AEW did do the right thing here. If this was his last appearance, if this was his last match, I think they did a great, like, way to, like, send him off. Like, having Adam Cole hugging him, and, like, he really did put Cole over in this. Because not a lot of people kick out of the Black Mass.
Nope.
And Cole did it.
I'm still confused at this. Never mind, I'll get into it later.
But I am going to say one more thing before we move on to our last weekly news and rumors. One thing, like, I do hope happens before his contract expires, before they stop booking him. I kind of want to see Buddy and Brody turn on him. Because I think that, like, if you are going to push Buddy Matthews and Brody King without him, you have to have him take him out. Or do something.
Facts.
I think it should be Brody King. Like, if Brody King took out friggin' Malachi, like, imagine how over you can get him as your next monster.
Facts. No, I'm not wrong with you on that.
But we are going to have to wait and see what happens. But the way it looked last night on Dynamite, I think it is the end for Malachi. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors topic. Montez Ford has expressed frustrations due to the lack of booking for the Street Profits. During an interview with Lewis Browning via Daily Mail, Ford said this, and I quote, "You've got new faces showing up on the scene, and our audience naturally tends to forget what we've done and how we've done it. In the now, it is at the point where it's been almost 4 years since we've been tag team champions. I'm not going to lie and say I don't sit here and watch all the comments and everything. I watch everything. We're not in conversations when it comes to the top tag teams. We're not in conversations when it comes to anything wrestling related besides getting handled by the bloodline. And that doesn't sit well with me. So, as it is going in terms of being my dream job, it is enjoyable. As it is, frustrating." What's your thoughts on his lack of booking, and what do you see happening?
The Street Profits, their booking in general, it's been trash lately. Terrible. Everything about it has been terrible. No tag team championships, no storylines, no improvement, no progress, no aura, no rampage, no respect, no dignity, no integrity. They just look like two balloons out there. They're just making love when they be wrestling. Like, the Street Profits are literally making love. Now, Montez Ford, guy's got potential through the freaking roof. Clearly, he's got potential through the freaking roof. If you can't see that, you're blind right now. So I want to, if the Street Profits is coming to an end somewhat, or if they're not going to change it up, I think they need to split up. Let both guys be singles wrestlers. But Montez Ford, he has every right to be mad because the they're one of the best tag teams in WWE. They've been one of the logos of the tag team division for the last several years, and you're not even using them right. Come on, bro. Like, the Motor City Machine Guns came in after them, and they've been putting in all this work. Now, no disrespect to the Machine Guns, but Street Profits have been putting in work. Like, they should be tag team champions. I wouldn't mind the Machine Guns taking the belts off of them, or if anything. I knew the Bloodline had them, but like, if they were going to come in, at least let the Street Profits beat the Bloodline for the championships, and then let the Machine Guns take it off them later. I think low-key I think it's just a little bit of disrespect on the Street Profits, and I don't want to use that angle that we've been using lately when it comes to Triple H. But at the same time, like, y'all got to give the Street Profits their credit too, man. Like, because then if they keep getting booked like this, they might be the next ones to leave WWE after their contracts are up. You got to give them more respect at the end of the day, because like I said, they've been holding this tag team thing down, and they've been putting tag teams over the last several years. I can't even remember the last time the Street Profits held the gold, if I'm being frank with you.
Yeah, and I think it all comes down to no disrespect to Motor City Machine Guns, no. But they had 3 matches and they won tag team championships. Mm-hmm. The Street Profits, Montez made it clear in this interview, it's been 4 years.
See, I was right.
And I think, like, when it's all said and done, I think that Triple H really doesn't have any plans for the Street Profits. They were paired up with Bobby Lashley before Lashley got hurt, and then they decided not to re-sign him. And, like, we never really got any, like, backstory why B-Fab is hanging out with them. Like, they just randomly threw her in there because they had nothing for her. So, like, the Street Profits, they have been doomed to the beginning since Triple H took over. And this is my issue with Triple H's booking. Like, I like that we do get this long-term storytelling. I think when it comes to Triple H, the pros do outweigh the cons. But when it's all said and done, not a lot of people are talking about it, which is why I'm going to talk about it here on the We Are Wrestling podcast, because guess what? I will call out the good when I see it, and I will call out the bad. And I don't think enough people are calling out the bad when it comes to WWE's booking. One of Triple H's biggest issues is the lack of characterism. Because in WWE, They have been known for larger-than-life characters. And one of the things that made the Street Profits stand out from all these other tag teams throughout their tenure in the WWE has been their aura, their charisma. Why is Montez Ford not talking on a fucking microphone every week? That is how they introduced them to the main roster. And they sailed nice and smooth through the tag team division, won multiple tag team champions. They were the logo, like you said. And with Triple H, the problem is he's so worried about getting everybody on television, whether it's for 2 seconds behind the scenes, or getting somebody like in like a promo or an interview or a vignette or even a wrestling match that's like 5 to 10 minutes. Triple H is trying to please everybody on his roster, and that is not doing good for the people that bust their asses like Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. And I think once their contracts are up, they are gone.
Here's my thing with Triple H too, because he said a quote one time I didn't like, and I didn't know how to take it, but I'm gonna say it to you. Because somebody asked him a question about something about the talent not getting booked right or something like that, and then he responded a little selfishly, in my opinion. He said, "Now correct me if I'm wrong if you heard this." He said, "If you got it, or something like that," and that kind of got me mad, because then it's like this. He's already made it clear who's getting pushed and who's not getting pushed. So then it's like, he already got the game plan figured out. But to say it like that, it kind of indicates that some of the people that we're talking about right now are not getting pushed. And we know why. Because of that selfish comment right there. And the Street Profits is probably a prime example of that right now.
But that's the problem. Like you said, they're literally a balloon waiting to be popped. And they're not doing anything. They're just sitting there. And that's the problem with a lot of these WWE superstars. Why they're not getting over right now is because all Triple H is doing is just giving them generic matches, generic interviews, generic video packages. He's not really doing anything to let them stand out. He's not letting them be larger-than-life characters. And that is my biggest problem with the Street Profits, because they are so charismatic. Why are they not talking? Why are you not using them? Why are you not putting them over? It's so disappointing. And, like, I know you said Montez Ford, like, he is a mega superstar waiting to happen.
Yep.
But I think Angelo Dawkins is also somebody that could be a solid friggin' singles guy as well, because I think that he's got it as well. Maybe not to Montez's level, but I think that he's not going to be like a Jannetty.
I don't mean to put Dawkins in the. I don't mean to throw him in a box like that neither, because that's not my intention at all. But clearly, everybody sees it with Montez Ford too. I'm not the only one. You just said it yourself. Everybody sees the star potential. But like I said, that comment Triple H made, he made it clear on his plan from the jump. Like, he already knows this is future sight. He already knows who's going to get pushed completely and who's not. And because of that statement, I already know the people that are not going to get pushed ever again because of that statement.
And that's the thing too. Like, one thing I do want to say here, just so people are like saying, "Oh, we're bashing WWE, this and that." There's one thing I do want to say. Every booker in professional wrestling, they all have their guys and girls that they push. So I am not going to blame Triple H there, because Triple H has a vision. There's certain people that fit that vision better than others. Same thing could be said with somebody that a lot of us don't like right now in the wrestling community. Vince McMahon, he's always had his people that he pushed. Tony Khan in AEW, he has his people that he pushes. And there's just certain people that fit what they're looking for and who they're not looking for. And I think with the Street Profits, they just don't fit what Triple H is looking for, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you're right. And I'm sad about it, because the Street Profits, they're one of the primary logos of the tag team division on WWE. Just to be used the way they've been using is a slap in the face to them. Because on top of that, no other tag team deserves to have more tag team success and have a larger push than the Street Profits right now. Especially since they came up from NXT to now. Every tag team that's been here before them is already literally gone. They're literally the last tag team from their NXT run left, literally, if you're thinking about it. Because who else is over there apart from the Authors of Pain and DIY? Well, they were before them, but like after them. But who else is over there? Nobody. And the Street Profit, you can't even give them at least another push or two. You just want to slap them in the face and just be like this. Okay, we're done with you now. We got new shiny toys to mess with now. You guys aren't those. Y'all not those shiny toys that we're looking for. Y'all not as over as y'all thought. Montez Ford holding the cup of whatever is in that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, Tony Khan's like that when it comes to his toys." Well, Triple H is like that too, and we're starting to see it. We're really starting to see it.
And hold up. Before I say that, what I just mentioned about
like that.
What I just mentioned about what Triple H said is on the internet. I'm not making this up. He did say that. If you got it, you got it. Something like that.
That was during one of the press conferences, I think, after the PLE.
Exactly. I don't want nobody to say attacking Triple H, because I'm not. Because he said this out of his own mouth. Go watch it on Go watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I'm not bashing Triple H.
Well, reporters have also put it out there too. Like, it is 100% that he has.
It's out there. He said it himself. Like, he said if you don't got it, you don't got it. He said, you're going to shine, you're going to shine. I didn't say this. I'm not making this up. So I don't want nobody to say I'm attacking Triple H, because I'm not.
Hey, we're just calling it like we see it.
Exactly.
That's what we do here on the We Are Wrestling podcast.
He already knows who's getting pushed from this point. Now, we got to pray. We got to pray that we're wrong.
Tony Khan's got his guys. Triple H got his guys. Like, they all have their guys and girls.
But y'all need to keep it. But I think in 2025, y'all need to keep it equal. Y'all need to try to push everybody equally going 2025 forward.
Well, you see, I think Triple H does that, but it's just his guys. He's not, like, the Street Profits that was Vince McMahon, the Street Profits. He invested a lot into them during that time.
But you got to push everybody, too, though. Like, you just can't be biased to certain people. Man.
Because why do you think, like, Baron Corbin got released? Why do you think Omos, they haven't used him? Like, why do you think, like, there's certain people that, like, we got to see on WWE TV for the longest time, and now all of a sudden they're doing nothing?
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong.
Everybody, all these promoters, they have their people.
I hope I'm wrong at this point.
It's time WWE just cuts those people that they don't want to use and just move on.
I hope I'm wrong at this point, because it's becoming more clear every single time I watch WWE.
Yeah. Well, up next, we do have our main event topic. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 133. Are you looking for wrestling content? Well, We Are Wrestling provides everything pro wrestling. The best one, Donnie, Gins, and the Load Rager Ben, are wrestling marks like you who love this sport. We Are Wrestling has it all when it comes to wrestling content. We have different podcasts, vlogs, reactions, full wrestling matches, live pay-per-view watch-alongs, interviews, predictions, and so much more. Only on We Are Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and become a We Are Wrestling Maniac now. We're back, and this week we are going to be skipping out on the Getting Put Over segment because it's my birthday, and, like, I asked Ricky, like, can we put myself over? And Ricky was like, no, this is only for professional wrestlers. So this week we're not going to be doing the Getting Put Over. Well, all jokes aside, this episode has been very long due to the news, and I'm going to be going out to Long Island, New York for the weekend. So we're going to try to wrap things up here with our We Are Wrestling main event topic. And oh boy, we got a big one this week. And according to Wrestling Votes Radio, WWE management are very happy with Cody Rhodes' title run. Backstage, he's been compared to John Cena as a white meat babyface. How do you feel about that narrative with Cody Rhodes and his title run so far, in your opinion?
That title run has been mid, first and foremost. That championship run has been mid. There's only one good match out of that, in my opinion. That was AJ Styles back at Backlash. Other than that, Cody's whole title run has been, I'm sorry, it's been mid.
I thought the match with him and Solo was pretty good.
It was good, but like
Well, at least
overall,
the steel cage match.
yeah, overall though, but it's been mid overall. Let's be honest. Let's keep it frank here. I don't know. Cody got too many. I think WWE got too many yes men over there that aren't honest enough. I guess because the championship run has been mid so far, and we all wanted Roman Reigns to lose the championship at Mania. Somewhat, even I did. You did, but then like this, now we're going back months. We're months later in, and we're like this. Should Roman have kept the belt a little longer?
No, I don't think so. I think it was the right call to have Cody finish the story, but not having a plan afterwards didn't help him at all during this time.
Because now I'm looking at it like this, like the tag team division has been more exciting than the WWE Championship division, somewhat. The
Are you talking
Bloodline
about
winning the
SmackDown
titles.
tags or Raw?
Yep. No, the SmackDown.
Okay, I was about to say Raw tag has been.
No. The Bloodline winning it. They brought a little prestige to it. They were defending it, and then their tactics. They've been keeping those titles relevant.
But I'm gonna be honest. I really don't care about the tag titles because I want to see them on a PLE. Like we haven't got a PLE tag match since WrestleMania.
Exactly. Yep. And Triple H, you need to start taking notes. We telling you what it is. Put the machine guns on those pay-per-views, man. But no, the whole tag team division has been better than the WWE title division. I'm sorry. Even the U.S. title division has been better. The mid-card title has been better than WWE. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my only reason.
Even though that last match was that last match was kind of trash at the pay-per-view, I get it.
You see, I can agree with you on that though.
LA Knight's been more. He's been more exciting than Cody. He's been a little bit more exciting.
I don't even I haven't been a fan of LA Knight's run either as champion. They haven't really done anything. I thought he was going to be like a defending champion. They haven't really been doing crazy shit with him that much.
But also at the same time, apart from Hayes and Andrade, who's over there in the mid-card division on SmackDown? And LA Knight's defense a little bit.
Yeah,
there's nobody over there,
true.
really.
That is true. I agree.
There's only those three over there. Like, who else is over there? You got Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, but aren't they a tag team?
They are. Yep.
So who's really over there to carry that mid card division?
You're valid, 1,000%. Like I have to agree with you on that.
Because even though I wasn't a fan of Logan Paul's run, he brought a little prestige to the championship. As much as I hate to agree that, because I'm not that big on Logan Paul much, but he did bring a little bit of prestige to that title.
Yeah, no, I totally have to agree with you.
The only reason they gave it to LA Knight is because they got to push LA Knight stock. But Logan Paul having that belt now, because you told me this earlier in the year, it made like all the reasons you told me. Now I understand what you're talking about a little bit. Yeah. But LA Knight needed this because
sometimes it's quality over quantity.
Yep, he better been walking around like a bootlegger Stone Cold Steve Austin in the back, cutting promos in the ring, this and that. And this is no shot to LA Knight because he's good, but he's looking like
they need to get like LA Knight and AJ Styles to feud again.
Exactly. I don't even know if AJ's coming back.
Well, I don't even know either at this point.
I don't even know if AJ Styles coming. And if AJ's done this year, AJ, thank you, AJ Styles, thank you. Just retire, go out with glory. You don't have nothing to prove to me no more. You done did everything you need to do, man. You're my favorite. I still got Kenny and Ospreay. I don't know about Kenny, but I still got Ospreay after that, so I'm good.
So yeah, with WWE being very happy with Cody's title run, I just think that's just crap.
There's too many yes men over there.
Yes, Cody Rhodes has been doing the John Cena schedule. Like I will give him credit where it's due there because like when it comes to like the house shows and the live events, doing all the media and everything globally, like I respect the work ethic that Cody Rhodes has had here. But when it comes to the actual title run on WWE programming, it really hasn't been that good.
Nope.
Like, for me, I would have been more invested in Solo Sikoa now going against Cody Rhodes for the title because he pinned Roman, he pinned Jimmy, he's been actually picking up wins. So now Solo legitimately feels like a contender to Cody. They should have been having him get wins before he was feuding with Cody. Also, like I will say, having Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns doing stuff, I understand because the history there for the last couple years with the Bloodline and Cody. But that also took away from his title run. throwing him in a tag match with Roman to go against Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa.
Yep.
Like, it just kind of took away from that. And then having a fun match with Kevin Owens, and this is before Kevin Owens turned on him at Bad Blood. They haven't really done anything there. Like, it should have been, at Crown Jewel, it should have been Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Let's be honest. Like, Kevin Owens attacked him after Bad Blood, and then what? They forget about that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand Randy Orton and Kevin Owens having problems, but why aren't we addressing Kevin Owens and Cody's problem? He attacked
Sometimes
him.
you got to build, but you already know how that is sometimes. Sometimes you got to build the contenders up with other storylines first, too, though. Sometimes
And that's the
it's
problem.
like
Triple H is not building enough contenders up.
Nope. Like I said, there's no contenders over there, barely. We just talked about the U.S. title card. Like, who's over there challenging? We're going to get Carmelo Hayes and Andrade and LA Knight Part 5 again? I'm sorry.
Another 7 games.
I might as well. You might as well just give title shots to Grayson Waller, Austin Theory. Give Jacob Fatu a title shot, man. Stop keeping him behind Solo.
I feel like Jacob Fatu or Solo, one of those two are going to be LA Knight for the title.
I'd rather Jacob Fatu do it. Let me tell you why I'd rather Jacob Fatu do it. Because legitimately, he can do it on his own. Story-wise, you can see. He can do it on his own. But then Solo's like this. Solo's going to pull a Christian Cage. It's going to be like this. And he's going to hold the freaking title all around.
Nah, here's what needs to happen, Ricky. I'll tell you this right now. Honestly, I want Solo Sikoa to win the championship because I feel like having Jacob Fatu, like, have Solo go on, like, a lengthy run, and then Jacob Fatu just starts to get fed up with him, like, barking orders at him and stuff, and then eventually, during one of the big PLEs, like a SummerSlam or like a Survivor Series or like a Royal Rumble or even a WrestleMania, not talking this upcoming one, but maybe like 42, then you can have Fatu become a babyface, but keep the same attitude, and he can turn on Solo, and he can win the United States Championship against him and have that big moment. I think Solo Sikoa could be a really good champion to really build a big star in somebody, and I think Jacob Fatu could be that somebody.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
I'm getting wiser now that I'm 27. Well, as we're recording this, it's a day before my birthday, but when this comes out, I'm
wait till you get to
27.
31. Wait till you get to 31, then you'll see. You'll see the difference then. Then you're going to be having gray hairs and everything. No, I'm joking. I'm playing.
Well, I hope I have gray hair. I hope I don't go bald.
No, but, yeah, like.
That's my birthday wish every year.
I see Solo and Jacob in the Christian Cage Luchasaurus situation. Because my man's going to be holding the championship around.
Yep.
And like you just said, Jacob's going to get fed up with that crap. Mm-hmm. Either he's going to super kick him or kick him out the bloodline. But the bloodline got so many storylines coming up. They got so many stories.
And I do hope that Solo Sikoa stays with Tama and Tonga. Don't have them break up with him. Nope. Keep them together. Mm-hmm. Because then, like, there you go for the road to WrestleMania or like the road to SummerSlam, wherever this happens. Jacob Fatu has to go through Tonga and he has to go through Tama to get to Solo.
If it was up to me, hold up, my bad, this is unbiased. If it was up to me, I send the Gorillas of Destiny back to New Japan. I ain't being biased.
Oh, that's biased. Come on, Ricky.
I'm not being biased.
Hey, you got to shoot the shots even if you miss.
I like them over there better. I like them here, but like over there, because they were Bullet Club and stuff. So maybe it's nostalgic sometimes too for me. So, but they're doing good. They're not no disrespect.
Yeah,
but if you watch their old work, clearly you'll see the difference too. So, but they're doing good though. Don't get it twisted. They're doing good.
But I will say, like, Cody Rhodes has been doing the work ethic. It's just not translating well.
Yeah, it's been a little.
He's still for the people, though. Like, he's still very over with the crowd, which is still a great thing. He hasn't got to that John Cena level yet where it's, let's go Cena. Cena sucks.
Hold on. You might be mad at what I'm about to say. You might be mad at what I'm about to say. Because I gave Cody Rhodes a nickname in the chat the other day. I called him the Kevin Durant of professional wrestling.
No.
You want me to explain, or I'll do it off camera? I'll explain.
No, you can explain.
Listen. We got all the time in the world. I'll explain to you when we get the chance. Trust me.
All right. Anything else?
You're gonna be like this. You're gonna be like, I agree with you. Say it again.
Anything else before we close off this week's episode?
Y'all give a happy birthday to my brother. Jesse the third, and then give him a happy birthday to the best one, Donnie. They got the same birthdays literally on the same day, somewhat. So I don't know how that happened. I'm playing. But no, happy birthday to both those guys, my brother and my other brother from another mother. Bless y'all. Hope y'all got a lot more years ahead of y'all. You got a lot more years ahead of you. You're reaching 30 soon. You got 3 years left, but when you get here, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Things you're gonna get more wiser the older you get. But,
Well,
yeah,
I'm just
happy
gonna have to
birthday,
wait and
like,
see what happens. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. But
Don't
all the We Are
overparty.
But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, I will be celebrating out in Long Island, New York for the big event, New York, on Saturday, November 9th. So if you do see me, I'm going to be carrying a nice little wagon around because I'm going to be getting a bunch of stuff autographed. And if you do see me, don't hesitate to come say what's up. I love meeting you guys. It's always my highlights when it comes to these like wrestling conventions and Comic-Cons. And it's been a very busy month so far, so like I do want to like thank all the Maniacs out there for all the support, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this right now at all. And also on Saturday, November 16th, the Wrestling Classic 5, myself, Ben, Ricky, I believe Casual Cam will be with us. We're going to be all hanging out with Little Guido, Nuncio, so if you are in the Springfield, Mass area that day, you can actually come to our table, hang out with us, and meet Little Guido, who just showed up on NXT last night. Well, a couple nights ago, as this comes out. Also, if you do want to get yourself some swag, We Are Wrestling is now on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you want to check that out, the link is down in the description below. And we do have a couple watch-alongs coming out in November on, I believe it is the 23rd of November. Myself and Ricky Knows Best will be doing an AEW Full Gear watch-along, and I'm sure the week of, we'll be doing predictions as well. And, of course, at the end of November on the 30th, We Are Wrestling is going to be having a huge Survivor Series watch-along party with everybody in the Best One living room. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a good time. So there's a lot to look forward to. But guys, if you enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, it was a long one. Smash that like button now if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get it. Give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a Best One review, and download the episode. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content. We got some new vlogs coming out pretty soon. We got reactions. We got lots of awesome things coming out of nowhere like an RKO. Recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now. Turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow myself and Ricky over on our personal social media pages. And Ricky's new YouTube channel where he's going to start doing 5-star match reviews. And I can't wait to check
Ricky
those
knows
out.
best.
Ricky Knows Best, match analyst.
I don't want to steal nobody's stuff. I don't want nobody coming. I don't want nobody being mad at me for stuff.
But Ricky's going to be dipping his toes in the content creating, so I'm excited for him. We're going to put his link down below. And then if you guys want to go check out my toy channel, Best One Donnie, I just posted a brand new Rhode Island Comic-Con vlog up on there. It is a great 40-minute vlog. So much footage. Got to go to Blockbuster. Got the opportunity to meet voice actors. Got to meet some professional wrestlers with Casual Cam hanging out with me. You can check all that out. The link's down in the description box below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, I'm going to enjoy my birthday out in Long Island, New York, the most magical place in the world. Because of course, you already know, we are taking over. Peace.